Hey everybody, welcome to the studio of Carini Arts. You can check out my other artist support talks right here on YouTube. I have over 100. I also do some of these over on Instagram. Under my reels, there's a tab that says artist support talks. You can check those out. I also do an art podcast, Art for Everyone podcast. You can watch the live feeds right here on YouTube. So check those out. Everything you need to know is in my link tree. And if you would tell people about me, it would mean a lot because I do kind of suck here on YouTube, but I'm trying to suck less. So today I want to talk a little bit about rejection and how it's not always a bad thing. And so earlier this week on some of the socials, I shared a story about how this week I got a rejection from a gallery. And of course, like, yeah, rejection, like, it sucks. Nobody loves rejection. I mean, unless you just like don't want to do something and you're forced to apply for something. That's the only reason that you'd be like, oh, thank God I got rejected. But nobody wants to be rejected in anything. But I have learned to, in a manner of speaking, callous my mind when it comes to rejection in the art world. And so let me backtrack a little bit to when I was younger in my career, like just getting out of college or going through college. And when you're at that stage in your life, you're kind of vulnerable. Like art is something that you protect very much. Like you keep it in your bubble, and maybe you don't even want to share your bubble because you don't want people to pass judgment on you or tell you you're not good enough. Maybe it's galleries, maybe it's teachers, maybe it's even friends and family, the people that are supposed to be supporting you. So sometimes we're really protective of our bubble. And sometimes if that bubble gets a little penetration, it may burst. And it's terrifying. And it may be the reason that we quit. It may be the reason that we never get started, that we never take a chance. But I knew early on that if I wanted to get ahead in life, I was going to have to take chances. And so I started taking chances early on, and I got my rejections. And of course, they fucking hurt. They stung like hell. But I quickly learned that the more that I got, the more conditioned I was to them, that it didn't hurt quite as much with the next one or the next one or the next one. Now, of course, the goal wasn't just to get rejections. The goal was to get an acceptance somewhere. But I learned that one of the big keys to acceptance and to finding these positive things was to go through the rejections. Because what happens is most people never want to get started because they just never want to deal with the rejection. So they won't even try. Or they'll try, and as soon as they get one rejection, they'll be like, okay, I'm out, I quit. And so sadly, most people on this journey will quit. Very few will get started. And then those that do, many of them will quit. But if you keep going, well, that's been one of my biggest keys to success. It's not that I'm better than anybody, it's that I just refuse to quit, that I've kept going. And so I learned that to get an acceptance from a gallery, that it might take 20, 30, 40, 50 applications, tries it, getting a yes. But the sooner that I got those no's, the sooner I got through those no's, the sooner I can move those aside and be like, okay, we got some of the no's out of the way. And I was on the trajectory to find my yes. Now, I've been doing this for decades. I am, I feel like I'm successful. Success means different things to different people, but I feel like I'm very successful in my industry. And so I share my stories candidly, wholeheartedly. I tell you everything raw, the truth. And so, like I said, I got a rejection this week. And I've been applying to more galleries lately. I finally realized, like, I need to find galleries in other cities. So I've been applying to new galleries, looking for new opportunities. And I've been getting not just this one rejection, but a number of others. But I am optimistic because I'm like, okay, you know what? Well, we got those out of the way. We're trying. I'm getting back in the mode. I'm getting back in the groove. I'm warming myself up. And that yes has got to be right around the corner. And even though I got the no for many reasons is not always a bad thing. Like, first of all, when you get a no from a gallery, it's not necessarily a no forever. It could just be a timing thing. Like that no could be yes later. Like that no, that gallery is actually going to be coming on my podcast. And so maybe we'll talk about this right here. But it's not necessarily a no forever. Now, sometimes getting a yes is not the best thing though. Like say this gallery was going to say yes, but not really push me. Well, then I've got inventory locked up that I can't show somebody else. So it's like getting in, think of like a relationship with a significant other. It's like being in a bad relationship. You don't want to be in a bad relationship. So not every relationship is a good relationship. And so sometimes somebody saying no is the best thing for you because it could mean like, okay, they're saying no. Now I can shift my energy to somebody that's actually going to value and appreciate me. So you want the relationship that's going to be based on balanced reciprocity, where there's going to be effort from both sides. That's a good relationship. So Ideally, you want a good relationship. Now, when you're earlier on in your career, you're inclined to kind of just accept whatever acceptance you get because it's like, oh, I've never shown with the gallery. I don't know what I don't know. It's like relationships with people. You don't know a bad relationship sometimes until you've been in a bad relationship. So I've had my share of bad relationships. And so I know that the last thing I want to do is lock up inventory or sign with somebody that's just going to sign me, throw me in a corner and not really market or promote me. So when I get a no, I'm like, okay, they weren't really going to push me anyway, even if they said yes. So let me shift my energy to the gallery that is really going to want to support me and want to lift me up and maybe put me at the front. So that's what you want, is a good relationship. But reasons galleries say no, it's not necessarily because your work isn't good enough. Like, I don't think that the reason I was denied was because my work wasn't good enough. They could be looking for larger work. They could be looking for smaller work. They could be looking for representational work. I'm an abstract artist. They could be looking for sculpture. They could be looking for conceptual work. They could be moving in a direction of AI. They could have their shows lined up like most galleries do for the next year. And maybe I just don't fit into one of those. Maybe they're looking for work at a higher price point. Maybe they're looking for work at a lower price point. There are an infinite number of reasons of why you may not be a fit or why you may not be a fit right now. But it's not an indication that there's not a gallery out there for you, or that your work is not good enough, or that that gallery may not one time in a future date say, okay, you know what, you are right for us. So don't take no as a permanent no. But if you get a no, look at that as one door at least temporarily closing so that you can focus your energy on the doors ahead of you, the doors that could be opened, because that's where you want to go. So that just lightens my load of, okay, now that's out of the way. Now I can focus on this avenue or this opportunity or this opportunity. So no can actually be a blessing. It can be a wonderful thing. It's not a bad thing. And like I said, learn to callous your mind when it comes to rejection in the art world and in life, because rejection is part of life. And if you want to have any type of success, you're going to have to deal with rejection, because if you're not hearing no from somebody, you're probably not dreaming big enough. If you're just getting yes on everything that you do, stop what you're fucking doing and aim higher, because you should be hearing no. And once you hear that no, you have an opportunity to level up and to open up new doors from there. So keep rising, keep opening up new doors, and don't take that rejection as a bad thing. It's just pushing you in the direction of what is meant for you. So check out all my other artist support talks. I will see you next time. Share these, tell people about me, and go watch them on my other platforms. I'll see you next time. I'm Michael Carini.